This short video will demonstrate how to locate peer-reviewed or refereed articles and will explain the differences between these sources, scholarly or academic sources, and articles found in popular and trade publications. You will then be shown how to locate peer-reviewed or refereed articles using our library's databases. This pyramid illustrates the level of reliability, credibility, and bias typically found in different types of publications. Popular and trade publications, which are magazines and most newspapers, are lower on the reliability, credibility, and bias scale. Generally, these articles are aimed at the general public or at a particular industry, are written by journalists and not experts, do not usually include references. They may include many advertisements, they're usually colored, and may display bias or may be sponsored by organizations with a particular agenda. This is not to say you should never use these types of publications. They have their uses, which you will see in just a moment. At the top of this pyramid, in terms of reliability, credibility, and lack of bias, are scholarly or academic publications and peer-reviewed or refereed publications. Generally, articles in these publications are authored by experts in a specific field for other experts or researchers, describe original research methodology or theory, are published by a professional organization or academic press, include lists of references, contain little or no advertising, and contain charts, formulas, tables, and images that relate to the article. Peer-reviewed or refereed articles go through an extensive process that puts them at the top of the credibility reliability pyramid. Articles have been reviewed and approved by subject experts before being published to ensure and maintain quality and accuracy. Articles report on actual research studies and usually include sections such as an abstract, an introduction, a literature review, methodology, results, conclusions, and references. Note that not all material in these publications is peer-reviewed, such as editorials, letters to the editor, and book reviews. This short video describes the peer review process.
Scholarly articles, academic articles, peer-reviewed articles. You may have heard these terms used by your professor, but what do they mean? Essentially, these are all different ways of describing the same thing, research articles that have been published in scholarly journals. But what is a research article, and how does it get published in a scholarly journal? First of all, the article reports a scholar's research practice and findings, and it's written with an audience of other researchers in mind. Finally, in order to be published and accepted by the scholarly community, the article must pass several quality tests. The most important of these tests is called peer review. We can get a better understanding of the role of peer review if we look at the academic publishing process as a whole. Let's imagine a researcher who wants to share a discovery with the academic community. To do this, he writes a draft article describing his research and findings and submits it for publication in a scholarly journal. Here's where the article has to pass its first test. The journal's editor reads over the article to decide whether it's a good fit for her journal. If it is, she sends copies of the article to a group of experts to evaluate the article's quality in a process called peer review. This is the article's second and most important test. These experts are the author's peers, since they're working in the same research area. And since they're making a judgment about the article, they're sometimes called referees, so peer-reviewed articles are sometimes called refereed articles. Each reviewer evaluates the article by asking questions to judge the quality and significance of the research. Questions like, what is this research about? Is it interesting? Is it important? Is the methodology sound? Are the conclusions logical? And are the findings original? Based on the answers to these questions, the reviewers decide whether the article is worthy of publication in the journal. They then make a recommendation to the editor, either approve the article for publication or reject it. Even if they recommend publishing the article, they usually expect the author to make revisions. The editor, however, makes the final determination whether the article should be approved, rejected, or revised. Rejection is common, though. The most prestigious journals are very selective about the articles they publish, so they tend to have high rejection rates. Some journals reject more than 90% of the submissions they receive. From the time the researcher first submits his draft article to the time it is finally published, several months or years may have elapsed. Once the journal is published, it is made available to subscribers, which are usually university libraries, because individual subscriptions are very expensive, often hundreds or thousands of dollars a year. By the way, like all established systems, the peer review system has its critics, and scholars continue to think about how the peer review process might be improved. The library has tools to help you find peer-reviewed research. If you want to know more about the peer review process or need help finding peer-reviewed articles, ask a librarian for help.
So let's look at the library's webpage and get started locating a peer-reviewed article on a topic in psychology. The advanced search link on the library webpage leads to a database with many articles on psychological topics. You are prompted to fill in the boxes with search terms. Let's say you're looking for recent articles on the psychological aspects of moral development in children. We can use the term moral development and combine it with the terms research and children. The search yields many entries. Notice that the term moral development is listed in many of these articles as a subject term. If we specify that moral development must be a subject term listed for the article, we can usually ensure that it is more specifically on our topic. We can use the pull-down menu to do this. And we found fewer articles, a good thing. So let's sort them so that the most recent ones are listed first. On the left, we can limit our search to only those articles that are academic or peer-reviewed. But let's take a look at our results first. Even though this article is from a general interest periodical, Scientific American Mind, notice the icon. Let's not dismiss it out of hand. If we put the cursor on the spyglass, it shows the abstract or summary. We see that it describes a 2017 study of the moral development of children that appeared in a recent issue of the Journal of Experimental Child Psychology. If we click on the link for the article, we can find out more, including the author of the study, as well as a short description of it. We can now redo the search and look for this article by the author Craig E. Smith that appeared in the Journal of Experimental Psychology. We found it. Notice the icon that indicates it is an academic or peer-reviewed article. By clicking on the title link, we come to a screen that includes a toolbar with a citation generator. This is useful in helping to generate an APA citation. Usually you will find a link to a PDF version of the actual article. In this case, there is no PDF link, but there's something called a full text finder. By clicking on this link, we're brought to the actual article in a different database to which we have access. Right away, we see the difference between this article and the one we found in the periodical Scientific American Mind. This article is long. It has many sections. It includes figures and graphs, and it shows the author has academic credentials. This article documents actual research.